for 2006. Hey, Space Up SquarePants and Family Guy debut on US TV, and the first version of MSN Messenger is released by Microsoft. A total solar eclipse is seen in Europe and Asia, and the Scottish Parliament is opened by Lizzie, and Lance Armstrong wins his first Tour de France. Sega Dreamcast is released, and NAS must be NASA loses a probe called the Mars Climate Orbiter. China launches a Shenzhou spacecraft, and Tori Murden becomes the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat. Wow. Rod Stewart and Rachel Hunter announced their separation. Britney Spears released a debut album, Baby One More Time. Elton John appears in The Simpsons. Eminem's The Slim Shady LP is released. And my bed's got on. Not having it. Come back, Jack. And the first single by Jennifer Lopez, If You Had My Love, reached number 1 in Canada, US and Australia. Gary Glitter is jailed for 4 months after photos of children are found on his computer. And Boris Yeltsin resigns as president of Russia. Births that year, couldn't find any. Deaths, Susan Dando. It's very sad. Oliver Reed, Dusty Springfield, Lionel Bart, Stanley Kubrick, Jodie Maggio, Box Cowley, Anthony Newley, Sarah Ramsey, Screaming Lord Sutch, George C. Scott, Quinton Crisp, Grover Washington, Curtis Mayfield, Fight Club, American... Oh, films. Fight Club, American Pie. Fight Club, 99. Might have been a different Fight Club, eh? American Pie, American Beauty, Toy Story 2, The Matrix, Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, The Mummy, Austin Powers. Notting Hill, Tarzan, Sixth Sense and The Green Mile. Lenny Kravitz is singing and about an American woman, and Michael Jackson was all about the Earth song. And the average house price is £79,384, and petrol will set you back £2.70 a gallon. Well, the last time I read this was when a friend of mine, Kim Southworth, whose sister is Gillian Southworth on EastEnders, she was at the Opera House in a play, and I went down and met her, actually. I didn't go to the play. Well, I just remembered that then. Wow. I'd forgot all about that. Right, now I'm going to play a tune that I think's well weird, but I love it. Freaks me out. Proper freaky tune.
It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton, and my brother was baling hay. And at dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered at the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. And then she said, I got some news this morning from Choctaw Red. Today Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas, well, Billy Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40 that I got to plow. And Mama said it was a shame about Billy Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. Now Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. My brother said he recollected when he and Tom and Billy Joe had put a frog down my back at the Carroll County Picture Show. Wasn't I talking to him after church last Sunday night? I'd have another piece of apple pie. You know, it don't seem right. I saw him at the sawmill yesterday on Choctaw Ridge. And now you tell me Billy Joe jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Mama said to me, child, what's happened to your appetite? I've been cooking all morning and you haven't touched a single bite. That nice young preacher, Brother Taylor, dropped by today. Said he'd be pleased to have dinner on Sunday. Oh, by the way, he said he saw a girl that looked a lot like you up on Choctaw Ridge. And she and Billy Joe was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge. A year has come and gone since we heard the news about Billy Joe. Brother married Becky Thompson and they bought a store in Tupelo. There was a virus going round, Papa caught it and he died last spring. And now Mama doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. And me, I spent a lot of time picking flowers up on Choctaw Ridge and drop them into the muddy water off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
It's Sandra's show. Thank you. It's Sandra's show. Thank you.
Oh, who are the people in the neighborhood? In your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. Say, who are the people in your neighborhood? The people that you meet each day.
On the 14th of July, 1858, Emily Pankhurst came into this world. Her parents were both political radicals, and one of her granddads had been at the Peterloo Massacre in 1819. Emily's mother took her and her sisters to women's suffragette meetings. She was an extremely intelligent child who recalled hearing her dad say it was a pity she wasn't born a lad. Her dad was printing company owner Robert Goulden, who along with friend John Stuart Mill campaigned to legalise women's votes. After going to a Parisian finishing school, once back in Manchester, she met and married Richard Pankhurst. 20 years a senior, he was a committed socialist and a strong advocate for the women's movement. He was responsible for drafting the Women's Property Bill that passed in Parliament in 1870, and together they had 4 children and moved to Russell Square in London, which quickly became the hub of the suffragette movement. They returned to Manchester in 1893 and formed the Independent Labour Party, and she stood as a Gorton MP. Sadly, she was defeated in the general election of 1895. When she became a poor law guardian, Emily was shocked at the conditions of the Chalton workhouse, and after holding open-air public meetings, Emily was arrested several times. On the 12th of July 1896, 50,000 turned out to hear what she had to say. When her husband died in 1898, she downsized her house and took a job as a registrar. By 1905, publicity for the cause had started to wane, so Emily thought of different ways to obtain a vote, and she organised a huge rally at Claxton Hall and wrote her biography, My Own Story. During the summer of 1908, the suffragettes marched onto Downing Street, smashing windows as they went. 27 women were imprisoned, hunger strike became fashionable, and several deaths were reported due to force feeding. In 1913, the violence escalated from window smashing to burning down MPs' houses. One leading suffragette member, Emily Davidson, ran out onto the racecourse at the Derby. She was trying to grab the bridle of the King's horse, and instead it killed her. The crowd at the time were more concerned with the welfare of the horse and jockey, and the poor woman was condemned as a mentally ill fanatic. The force-feeding of suffragettes caused the government to pass what became known as the Cat and Mouse Act, where hunger strikers were released until they were well enough to be rearrested. It wasn't until the outbreak of World War I in 1914 that Emily turned her attention to encouraging women to support the war effort. The 1918 Representation of the People's Act gave women over 30 the right to vote. She died in a nursing home in June 1928, just shy of her 70th birthday, but long enough to see women granted equal voting rights with men. What a woman. So next time you put a cross in a box, have a thought for Emily, because you might not be doing it if it wasn't for her.
It's Sandra's show. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Larry Warren. You're listening to the Unedited Audio Experience with Sandra Scheffelbottom. Enjoy.
Why is that on? I get you. Right, that was a bit low, that wasn't it? But by the time I messed about and got another tune, it was like halfway through, so I thought, you know what? By now, everyone would have just turned it up. So we're on for UFOs now. And on the 31st of August, 9 23 in Dartford, Uriah Fabio Olsen was at home with his wife